Welcome to Streams of Income, hosted by best-selling author and entrepreneur Dr. David Powers, where we discuss streams of income, passive income, residual income, and even why there are dinosaurs and zombies in this intro. Fasten your seatbelts and get ready to dive in.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Streams of Income podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you are willing to give me some of your time to listen to either a business lesson or an interview with an amazing entrepreneur. So once again, thank you for listening to the Streams of Income podcast. I hope you enjoyed this episode.
Hello to Dr. Dave. What I need from you in the audience as we get going here, please hit the like button. And then question of the day is, I just want to hear, what income streams are you guys excited about right now? They don't have to be new ones. They can be old ones that we've just been, plugging away at for months and months and months. Hey, we got Michael Kaufman here as well. Good to see you, brother. Thanks for joining as well. But let me know in the comments, what is your favorite income stream? If you had to be most excited about an income stream right now, what would it be? And we're going to get this answer from Dr. David here in a little bit as well, but let me know in the comments. So, Dr. David, welcome to the channel. You and me talk a lot, but you don't talk with my audience that much. So, I wanted to bring you on and just kind of talk through what you got going on. So, let's start with introductions. Can you give us a little blurb about yourself and tell us a little bit of your story?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm in my 40s. I won't say how far into the 40s, but basically since I was 17, I've been in occupations where people shot at me. And, fresh out of high school, that's the way it was. And so now I'm really enjoying the passive income streams where it's a little safer. Not completely, but a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit, right? We get some fire from time to time here as well. So can you tell us a little bit about your story? Again, I like to bring people on the channel and just hear stories about people and how they got to where they're at. So I'm going to leave it up to you just to kind of tell as little or as much as you would like to. But tell us a little bit about your story, how you got into passive income. Tell us a little about that.
Okay, yeah. Basically, I've come from a long line of entrepreneurs, and so never wanted somebody else telling me what to do. That's why I joined the Marines, right? And so I went there and had somebody telling me every minute what to do. And so I was excited to get out of the military after about 20 years between military and federal service, and went back to school, got my doctorate in counseling. And so I have a doctorate in counseling. I like to tell people I went from fixing bodies to messing with people's minds. And so now the passive income streams, though, what really put me on that path, I've got 5 kids, and I enjoy spending time with the kids. Every day at the end of the day, I do my gratitude journal, and almost every single time it's something I did with the kids, whether it was wrestling in the basement and putting the beat down on one of them, even my daughter, or just going outside and throwing football or hiking in the woods, playing with snakes, whatever. And so I want more time with the kids. That's what I want the most.
Okay. Can I ask you, was it hard for you to make the jump? Do you have a 9-to-5 right now, or are you doing completely other stuff, or what are you doing right now?
Yeah, I'm completely me. Contracts, all the passive income streams, doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes over at PI at Passive Income Engines. And so it all keeps me busy enough. I don't need a boss.
Okay, absolutely. So can you tell us a little bit about that jump? I think that's a jump a lot of people have a hard time making, is from normal person to a passive income person where you don't have this paycheck coming in. It's a very different way of living. But can you tell us a little bit about, was that a difficult jump for you? How did your wife and your kids respond? Or tell us a little bit about that transition there.
No, it wasn't that difficult. I did it before I got married. And so that eased so much of the difficulty. Had I waited to try this after a wife and kids, I could see how that would not have gone as well. It would have been so much tougher. But coming out of the government system, working for the government, so much bureaucracy and wasted time, wasted work hours. I was so tired of it that when I made that jump, it wasn't a transition. It was more of an evacuation.
That's a really good way to word it. Let me know in the comments who can relate to that. an evacuation from the 9-to-5 life. So, well, I know people are mostly wanting to hear about your passive income streams and what you're currently doing for that. But I also want to talk about red team goals. Maybe before we get to the passive income streams, we're going to leave that as a teaser. Stay tuned. But tell us a little bit about red team goals, because again, you and me, we're working pretty closely on Pi, and I've had some people ask me, hey, what's this red team goals? And I'm like, you know what? Embarrassingly enough, I don't really know. So tell us a little bit about this, what you're doing here.
Yeah, red team goals is kind of the one of my active income streams. It's one of those things that I'll probably never give up, even if passive stuff took over. Red team goals is kind of all my multiple streams of income, and the biggest one being prepping. I help people. I consult with people in groups in prepping, and because that's where most of my background is, in the military and homeland security. And so I help people get set up for zombies, wildfires, teaching first aid to families, pretty much everything that keeps people safe from everything from aliens to zombies, A to Z. And that's just something that's so much fun for me. And it literally saves lives. And so that's something I'll never give up. And that's what Red Team Goals is. I mean, it's everything from the simplest of providing publications, do-it-yourself kind of stuff, to the point where I actually will fly somewhere and help people during a disaster. And so it's a lot of fun.
Okay, I love this. So was this the first thing that you did when you were jumping into being your own boss, or did you do some other things before this, or was this kind of like the staple, the first thing you did?
Kind of. The very, very, very first thing I did was teaching Red Cross for the CPR, teaching CPR for the Red Cross. A long time ago. It was like straight out of the Marines, and I started doing that. And I kind of just took contracts and took classes when I wanted to, and that was, my first taste of, wow, I can manage my own schedule and I can do it well.
Okay, that's awesome. I love this story. Can you kind of tell people? I think there's a lot of entrepreneurs in my audience, or people who want to be entrepreneurs. Can you kind of talk about how did you put this together? Did you just kind of think through, here's what I'm kind of good at, here's some of the skills I have? How did you turn that into an income stream? Like, what was the process of doing that?
It was books and printables. The thing is, my time in the military and in the medical field, we dealt with more paper than patients. It's a sad thing to say, but all that paper, all those forms, all those guidebooks, everything, I thought, I got to find a way to make money off this stuff. It's here. To be honest with you, most of it was public domain, and so I could do whatever I wanted to with it. And so I just figured out ways to monetize that and turn something that was not completely passive, but a tiny little bit of work, and I could turn it into 20 different income streams.
Okay, so it was basically you just learned things, whether it be through experience or books. And then, as is natural, I think for everybody, but for entrepreneurs in particular, when you learn something that's impacted you pretty greatly, there's like this bug in you that really wants to share it with other people. Michael Kaufman, he does the trading on my channel sometimes, and he's the same way. Like, he learned this great system for trading, and he's like, hey, I want to share this with other people. And then a lot of times, income streams just come out of that. So I think you highlight really well. I tell my audience a lot of times is figure out what you're good at and or what you're passionate about. And hopefully those two coincide, something you're good at or have knowledge in and you're passionate about it. And usually that's where there is a potential revenue stream. So I really love that.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So tell us a little bit about your income streams. And again, you don't have to, I get on and do a spreadsheet with all my exact numbers, and all this type of stuff. We don't expect you to do that. But maybe you can help just for people who are, again, trying to think about, I want to make a transition towards more passive stuff or towards not my 9-to-5. Maybe you can talk a little bit about, your expenses and, your different income streams and how those work together and how you made this happen.
Okay, yeah, no problem. Printables is top of my list. Number one, because it's the most fun for me. It's what deals with the gifts that God gave me. And the trick is finding ways to make it as passive as possible. And so I kind of look at it from terms of copy, paste, repeat. And so a form, a book, a manual I've written or I come across or something I can license from somebody, I will take it and I will publish that thing everywhere. I'll not only publish it, but I'll break it apart and publish pieces of it. I'll design a course around it. I mean, that's my biggest income stream is books, printables, things like that.
Okay. Can you tell us more about that? Like, what kind of books are you doing, and how much work do you put into them? And you don't have to give us all your secret sauce, but tell us a little bit about what you're doing there.
Oh yeah, that's no problem. Tell you what, I'll use one of my most recent ones as an example. There's the old publication, The Strangest Secret from Earl Nightingale. And so it's an old book. It's not public domain, so I can't republish that. But I designed a challenge off of it. I've been listening to it every day. It's a 30-minute recording. And so, of course, not above my Bible reading and everything, but in addition to. And so it's all positive thinking stuff. And so I designed a challenge. I wrote up a workbook. Here's ways you can maximize listening to this thing. And so it took me, I don't know, a couple of evenings after the kids go to bed, after my wife goes to bed, I turn on the zombie movies and I work. And that's when my most creative stuff comes out. It's something about zombie movies and no kids awake, and I can knock it out in a few hours. And so now that thing is published in, I don't know, probably 15 different formats in 20 different places. And so a little bit of work up front, let's say 4 hours total, on a publication that's not even mine. Mine is like a reference to that. And so now I just sit back and make the money.
Okay, I love that. So you took a popular book that's out there, and then you didn't steal the book, but you created a challenge that's kind of a workbook then that's based on the content that's in that book?
Yeah.
Okay, very cool. And did you just do that? What software did you use to do that? You just use like a PDF editor
I'm old school. I play around in Word, and then I'll just change the formats as needed.
Okay, very cool. So that's not a ton of work just to put some questions. You didn't have to write the whole book. And then when you go to publish it, are you using Kindle Direct Publishing, or what different publishing methods are you using to get that out there?
Yeah, I mean, I go on KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing, and from there, it's easy to do it. Kindle, paperback, hardback. I mean, the Amazon hardbacks are pretty amazing. Those are big sellers. And but here's the trick to really make some big money for little work is I will get on my Shopify store and I will offer the binder edition. And so basically it's a 3-ring binder edition. I'll print the book out, put it in there. I'll add some bonuses in with it, but it ups the value because it's a personal touch. And like my friend Dan Miller always said, it's got some weight to it. I mean, you could drop it on the desk and it makes noise. The more noise it makes, the more valuable it is. And so I'll do the binder edition, and that sucker's $99.99, from what would be a $24 hardback on Amazon.
Okay, very cool. And have you done several of these, workbooks or challenge books kind of like this? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. I've done a lot of journals like that. My best-selling book on Amazon is a reference guide to a famous prepper book that was written years and years ago called Patriots by J. Wesley Rawls. And all I did was I read the book. I enjoyed it because it's what I did for a living. And I took all the tips and the gear and everything this guy talked about in this fiction book. I wrote a reference guide. Basically, I included links to all the gear, stuff like that. And that's been my bestseller. And so I don't even touch it anymore. I wrote that book probably 5-6 years ago, and it still sells.
That's crazy. And that is one of the things I love about, really these aren't really digital products, but they kind of are the way that you're doing them. But they end up being evergreen a lot of times. Like you put it out there, and I have a training course that I built in 2018. So that's been 5 years ago. And I saw a sale creep in the other day where it's like, where did this $97 come from? I'm like, oh yeah, that training course I built a lot of time ago. So I love that. So how many books in all would you say that you have kind of written this way?
I think I'm up to about 37 right now.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you've done quite a bit. And then how often would you say that these books flop versus do really well versus kind of so-so?
I would say about half of them get to where they sell 100 or more. And to me, that's kind of the point where, okay, that's a good one. That was worth the time. Under 100, I mean, they're so fast to write that it's like you can throw them against the wall. And if they work, they work. If not, they may make a sale here and there. That book about the Patriots, the reference guide, that one sold maybe 5,000 or 6,000, which in terms of bestsellers, I mean, that's pretty good numbers.
Yeah, that's very good. I love that a lot. Can you give kind of a range for people of, your complete flops? I'm sure you've had some that have made $0. And then like, what's kind of if one takes off and goes absolutely crazy, that ends up making, how much would you say the range is?
I would say, of course, the flops, they sell nothing. They'll eventually sell one copy, and it was worth it because maybe it was a public domain book I republished. The best ones, in the middle, I've got some books, like some travel books I've written about trips I've made, mountain climbing and things like that. And those, if it sells 100 copies, which, I'm happy with that. But to be honest with you, a lot of them sell under that. But it doesn't take much to break even on Amazon. And then it's out there evergreen.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it would be amazing for you to teach people how to do this, because writing 37 of them is, you've probably learned a lot of the tricks of the trade about, can you tell us a little bit about how you decide which one to do? Like if somebody in the audience is like, hey, I want to try this, how do you pick like what the next one you're going to do is?
Yeah. Okay. It's not necessarily a good ROI tactic, but I pick ones that I enjoy doing. And that way, I enjoy reading, I enjoy writing. To be honest with you, sometimes I'll write things simply because it's a good tax deduction on something I want to buy and read anyway. And so it goes into that. And so like my travel books, I journal a lot, and I was doing the Strangest Secret Challenge. I read prepper books. It's an easy one for me to just slide those right on in. And to be perfectly honest with you, the passion projects have sold more. I've got a farm here right now. We bought a 5-acre farm, and I wrote a book about victory gardens. The old victory gardens from the 40s. And so I snagged this public domain document that was out there. I changed it, updated it to the 21st century. And it's all stuff I'm doing here on the farm anyway. And so I had to read it anyway. I'm doing the work. And so why not just write a book? And that one's selling maybe 20 or 30 copies a month. And so that's not bad.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's amazing. And again, if you get 37 of these, even if it makes, $10 a day, $20 a day or whatever, you get enough of those. That can be a pretty significant side piece there. Michael Coppin says, host a workshop and I'll be there. Yeah. Is this, I should probably know this. I'll ask like I already know the answer to this, but is this something that you teach people in passive income engines how to do?
It is. Yeah. I've got videos on there about how to do this on multiple platforms, actually.
Okay.
Because Amazon's not the only one.
Okay, I think we should have you back at some point just to walk people through, like maybe even help them live and people can ask questions as they're going, but like get your first book published on Kindle KDP.
Yeah. No, that would be fun.
Okay, awesome. Let's do that. See, I'm glad we did this because this is one thing I am not good at that. I've done one video on like making journals on KDP, and I made a journal. I think I sold 7 of them. So, that's not terrible, but it's kind of a flop. But again, I didn't put hardly any work into it. I use this software called BookBolt. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but it basically lets you create journals really easily. So stay tuned, audience. We will get Dr. David back on for a KDP workshop here sometime. That'd be amazing. So you got these Amazon Kindle books. What else do you have income stream wise that is contributing to you pretty greatly?
Okay, so my most passive project is the NFT projects within passive income streams. That's because I was actually looking at all my income and it's like, that's a little bit passive. That's not passive. But this one, though, with the NFTs, you buy an NFT, somebody else is investing the money. You can't do better than that.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you tell us a little bit about the food truck NFT? Can you tell us a little bit about the different NFTs that are available in passive income engines?
Oh, yeah. And the guy that's managing the project, he's been really fast to pivot because, the DeFi space, it's like if you wake up and your money's still there, it's good. But don't plan on it being there. So if you're getting in the DeFi space, I have fun with it, though. So I use play money there. And so he's invested some of these NFT projects into Street Vendor Wars, which version 1 went down. There's supposed to be a version 2 coming up. He had some invested in the War and Finance project, which that's gone down. But he keeps pivoting, and now he's got a bunch of it in yield farms. And so I'm actually making steady return on investment with those NFTs. And all I had to do was buy it. The artwork's pretty. So
there you go. Yeah, that's the most passive you can do. And yeah, yield farming. is kind of a perpetually, a lot of people, that's where they end up at, because that's a real revenue stream that it probably isn't going anywhere. So amazing. So you got these KDP books, and then you have the work you're doing at Passive Income Engines, and then you have these NFTs. Is that enough for you for your budget, or do you have other things that you're doing as well?
No, I made a top 5 list. I mean, I've got.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I've got probably 30 or 40 streams of income that pay, good money to pennies. But my top 5, so we covered printables and NFT projects, fractional real estate. I'm actually enjoying that one. And we're talking websites like Lofty, Fundrise, things like that. The returns aren't huge, but for the way I look at it, it's very safe and the returns are there. And so I've enjoyed that. I like looking at the real estate. I'll tell you a secret here, just for everyone here, since this is public and everything, but I like getting on Lofty and finding the rentals that are Airbnb superhosts. That's kind of been my strategy so far. And so, not financial advice. If all those flake on you, then I didn't tell you to do it, but that's just my personal strategy.
Okay, I love that. So fractional real estate. Actually, I'm having a company on in either next week or in 2 weeks, but it's called Fractional. And we're going to focus specifically on fractional real estate. And I'm with you, like the returns on Fundrise, for example, you're not going to see probably more than 15% a year maybe or whatever. But as we found, 15% a year is better than negative 100%, which is what we see on a lot of the a lot of things we see. Oh, this month I got 8. This month I got 12. This month I got 15. This month I got negative 100. And so a consistent 15 will do a lot better than that. So we've got the printables. We got the NFTs. We've got the fractional real estate. That's 3. We got 2 more in your top 5.
Yeah, I'm going to kick it old school with one that everybody thinks is mostly dead, but affiliate income. I post affiliates everywhere. And not just the Amazon. Everybody knows about Amazon affiliates or the Amazon associates, and it doesn't pay much, and they're tight on the rules. You got to be careful how you do it. But I'll start there, and then I'll form relationships with people selling the stuff at the source. And so then I'll use those affiliates. I mean, I'm a big coffee nerd. I've got a website that's a coffee affiliate website called The Coffee Scholar, because yet again, it helps pay the tax deductions on coffee that I buy. But I get people sending me boxes of coffee. And so I'll get free coffee. That's nice and passive. I'll post the affiliate links, and then I'll make money off everything that I sell because I'm reviewing coffee. And so that's just one example. I post affiliate links everywhere.
Okay, I really like that one. So for someone who doesn't already have an audience, I think that's the challenge most people have. Like I like affiliate links too, because I can post it on YouTube and you get a bunch of sales. But for somebody who doesn't have an audience of any kind, you mentioned like you started a coffee website. But what do you kind of do to get that affiliate link out there when you don't have an audience?
I just build the audience. I mean, I started out with nothing, and so I just slowly building the audience. I'm not as big as yours yet, but here I am speaking to your audience. So, I mean, that's how I do it. I just make connections, build the audiences off of that, because a certain percentage of your listeners may not like coffee. They may be one of those kind of people that prefer tea over coffee, and they're not going to like me, but there might be 1 or 2 that's like, hey, I wonder what coffee Dr. Dave drinks. And so, I don't have a big audience, but it works for me, and it's going to get bigger.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, getting on things like this, it's one thing I've really appreciated. I don't know if Pocket Aces is here, but he's my community manager. And he was a banker, and then he just said, hey, I want to quit this. I want to go do my own stuff. And then he just hustled. He went around, asked everybody, hey, can I help with this? Can I help with this? Can I get on your channel to talk about this? Can I get on to do this? And over time, he's developed his own audience. And then when you have an audience, there's really a lot of ways. It opens up a lot of doors for monetization if you have an audience. So love that. That might be another one we could do a full video on, is growing an audience for affiliate sales, something like that. So awesome. So let me see if I can remember all of these. We got printables. We've got the affiliates. That was the last one. We got the NFTs. We've got, what was the other one you talked about? Wait, don't tell me. This is good for me as I'm getting older to practice brain retention. I'm forgetting one, but I can't remember which one it is. Fractional real estate. There we go.
Fractional real estate.
Awesome. What do you have for our 5th and final one here?
All right, our fifth and final is it's not going to fit totally in the passive income. It's part of that copy, paste, repeat format I use. Is I find ways to do everything I've already done with any active income streams. The example here is I wrote a book. I live in upstate South Carolina. I wrote a book called South Carolina's Scariest Places. And so that's one of those Kindle books that's out there, print, hardback, whatever. And we're actually building a hip camp site on my farm. If anybody's not familiar with hip camp, it's like Airbnb for tent sites. And so what I'm doing is, we're in my basement right now, and right over there is my bedroom, and a guy was murdered right over there before I moved in. And so I've got this whole haunted vibe going on here on my farm. And so not only am I going to niche my hip campsite by doing a haunted thing, and I'll take people out in the woods and scare them half to death just for the fun of it, and they'll pay more for it. But they'll get links to all my books and everything when they register. And so the copy, paste, repeat is sometimes just finding very small, almost passive ways to make money off all the other stuff.
Okay, I love it. Dave, one of the things I love about you, well, first off, I didn't realize that you were actually Dr. I thought that was just a nickname. So that's one big takeaway from this is Dr. David is not just a nickname. That is a title. Love that. But how do you, what advice would you give to someone who wants to be an entrepreneur, but is not yet thinking like an entrepreneur? Because one of the things I love about you is you're always thinking like an entrepreneur. Like, how can I turn this into an income stream? How can I provide more value from this? How can I take this one thing I did and spread it out to 10 different income streams? So what advice would you give somebody who doesn't think that way naturally, to try and help them get started on their entrepreneurial journey?
Yeah, I'll tell you one quick tip is be curious. And that's so general. Let me explain a little bit. It's whatever you do for work. I mean, whether you work at a bank or a restaurant or something, look around you and look and see what people are doing wrong or what could be done a little bit better. And that's an income stream right there for somebody. I mean, you take everything like DoorDash. I mean, DoorDash came about because other things weren't working perfect. Uber was the same way. I mean, greasy, grimy taxis, and you always wondered if it was a real taxi driver or if they were going to kill you or something. And now you've got Ubers where you can see where it's at on the map. It's a nice car. You get to talk to somebody. They give you water. I mean, look for something that you could do better that somebody else is screwing up.
Okay. Yep. I love that. Just look around for problems. That's I actually, when I was earlier in my entrepreneurial journey, I started a habit that I did it for like 2 years, and I probably should keep doing it. But basically every day I came up with 10 problems in the world, and then I tried to come up with a business to solve that problem. And I just every day, and it was hard coming up with 10 new ones every day, but it really got me thinking. Like, I'd look around and just, hey, what are some problems that there are in life? They could be my own problem or just a problem I see. And even if I don't have a solution right away, I'd start by just writing down the problems, which is exactly what you said. It's like, I don't like waiting when I'm at a restaurant, and it's like, okay, well, what would be some potential solutions to that? And then out of that came many, many revenue streams that I've used over the years. But more valuably, I think it just taught me to think that way, where when I look at a situation, I look, okay, here's a problem somebody has. Can I solve that problem? Because when you solve problems, there's money to be made there. So, love that.
Hey, you want to hear a weird story about one of my small income streams?
Yes, I would love to.
I love to do writing. Everybody's looking at me and they're like, Dr. Dave's got such a nice, smooth, bald head. But if I lean down, you can't see it because of the glare, but there's a crease right there. And so I was out hiking and I found these old railroad tracks and some abandoned train cars. And what do most people do when you find something like that? You start climbing on it, of course. And so I'm climbing on it. And here's a little secret for you. I don't like spiders. I really don't. I was climbing up and saw a spider, and I leaned back to avoid the spider web because it startled me and smashed my head open while I'm deep in the woods with my wife and one son. And so, 17 stitches and one busted artery later, I'm in the ER getting stitched up. But my wife took some really awesome pics in the ER because, we're medical, and the doctor we homeschool too. So the doc she brought my son over and she's like, hey, you want to see the different layers of his skull? And so a little homeschool lesson there also. but I wrote that up as a case study for a medical journal, a peer-reviewed medical journal. And with my pics, it's like, there's this really nice pic of me smiling with my head busted wide open and everything. And so I made a few $100 off of that, off an experience that most people, it would just ruin their day. For me, it's like, oh, how can I make money off me almost bleeding to death in the woods? So yeah.
You can at least pay for the ER visit, you know? That's awesome. No, I love that. So let me ask, for people who want to connect more with you, first off, can you tell us about everything that you offer as part of Red Team Goals, just for people who might be interested in connecting more with you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Most of what Red Team Goals is I do a lot of brainstorming. It's like Inside Passive Income Engines. I just started a show where once a week we'll get together on a Zoom and brainstorm. It's called Monetize Yourself. That kind of encapsulates a lot of what I do, is finding ways for people to escape what they don't want to be doing, finding ways to monetize what they love, what they want to do. And that's where I really come alive, because it's one thing to look at my own problems and try to figure a way out, but man, I can look at somebody else's stuff from the outside. It's like, wow, there is so much potential right here. That's what I love doing at Red Team Goals. And the name Red Team Goals, I mean, red teaming is something we did in the military, where we would plan fake attacks on military installations and things like that to actually expose things that were wrong. And so I kind of do the red team approach with people. I find ways that they're not seeing because they're too close to it, because they've been doing it too long, things like that. And, find ways to help move them into the entrepreneurial side, or just build a side hustle to pay for vacation. I mean, everybody's got different reasons.
I love that. No, and I love that you're doing that. I actually want to join you one of these. I need to be on that call with you, because we have identical passions there. And I tell people all the time, if you want to create a business, I love creating businesses. And they don't have to, when we say create a business, we don't mean it needs to make $1 million a year. Like, you can create a simple business that makes $100 a month. And like one of these Kindle direct publishing books, you might put in 4 hours one night, you make $100 a month off of it. And it's like, that's a small business. And, you do that enough times with enough different things, and you realize too, it takes away a lot of the fear of you being your own boss, because, I can create 1 million businesses. There's so many, I have so many LLCs. I can't even keep track of all of them. And so I love that you're doing that. So maybe we'll close here with Passive Income Engine. So if you guys are wanting to really get connected with David, he has a lot of stuff about the Kindle Direct Publishing in there, a video of how to get started, get you going yourself. There he is right there, the man, the myth, the legend. That's a good picture of you too. It's a lot better than my picture. I look like I got a fly in my mouth. Am I wearing the same shirt too? No, it's different. It's still red, but different shirt. But hop in Passive Income Engines. You can watch Dr. Dave where he talks about that. And then this Monetize Yourself. How often do you do that?
Once a week, and I rotate days and times. That way everybody gets a chance to come in there.
Okay. And that's completely free for people that are in Passive Income Engines. You can hop on this call. You just talk about what you're interested in, what's going on in life. And Dr. David, the way his brain works, he just says, oh, I see 17 potential revenue streams. And then he starts telling you, hey, you could make money doing this. You could make money doing this. Dr. Dave, you'll appreciate this. I had someone warn me the other day. You are ruining my hobby, is what somebody told me, because she had a bunch of jumping spiders, and I found out that these jumping spiders lay 50 eggs, and the spiders sell for $50 a piece. And so I was like, you got to sell these jumping spiders as they hatch. She's like, well, it's just a side, it's just a hobby, something I do for fun. And I was like,
get over a fear of spiders for that kind of money.
Yeah, exactly. And
now I'm thinking there's a book in there, how to sell jumping spiders.
Oh, see, hey, me and you, we got to chat more often on some of this stuff. So, and I'll let you know if the jumping spider business becomes a reality. Then I told her, I was like, you should create some jumping spider NFTs where you keep them, but you let people see them anytime, and they own them, and all sorts of ideas there. So if you guys are wanting to connect more with Dr. David, I'll leave a link to his website here, Red Team Goals, as you can learn a little bit more about him. But then hop into Passive Income Engines. I mean, it's amazing Just that we get access to somebody like Dr. David for free. And honestly, it's $1 for your first 30 days. So you could go to 4 of the monetize yourself with just paying $1. So that's a pretty good deal. Highly recommend that. So awesome. Well, I think I'm going to go and let you go. My throat is about done for. Thank you for doing most of the talking here, Dr. David. But do you have any final words of wisdom, inspiration before we let you go?
Yeah, just a quick one. Take something from everything you do, even if you hate it. Y'all can see the other side, but there's a screwdriver back there in a frame. And everybody asked me, why do you have a screwdriver framed on your wall? And somebody tried to stab me with that one night on the ambulance. And so I thought it was something neat to keep because, the worst part of being on an ambulance is people trying to kill you. And so take something from everything you do, even if it's a bad thing, because it creates a memory and potentially an income stream.
There you go. No, that's awesome. I love that. Yeah. And especially, a lot of us here, we've had losses in investments or in whatever, in life. Life is full of disappointments and failures and all these things. But like you said, you have to take what you can from all of those, the lessons that you learn. A lot of the lessons that you learn from failures are lessons you could not learn through success, because it takes the pain of the failure for the lesson to actually hit home. I've noticed this a lot with my kids. Like I tell them, hey, we have this balcony area, and I say, don't climb up there, you're going to get hurt. And they keep doing it. Don't climb up there, you're going to get hurt. One day they fall, get a little hurt, and now they're more careful. And it's like, I told you that time and time again, but it took them actually failing, going through that pain. So definitely love that.
Hey, you know what? If I were to visit you, I'm going to make sure you're out and your wife gives me permission. We're going to build a rock climbing wall to go up to the balcony.
Oh, I would love, my kids would. We used to have a rope swing hanging from one of our balconies, but then it broke, and actually my daughter got a concussion from it. So maybe I shouldn't mention that. That might be a bad parenting. You guys might.
As long as she doesn't have a crease in her head.
No, nothing that bad. And kids are so resilient. Like she's fine. So awesome. Well, hey, this has been great, Dr. David. I think we'll see more of you. I'd love to bring you back on, especially the KDP stuff. I think that's something. One of the things I love about the Kindle Direct Publishing is it's something anyone can do. You don't need starting capital. You don't really need any skills. You don't anyone. If you're wanting to make more money, anyone can start on that today. And you could have something out this evening, honestly. So again, I get people a lot of times that tell me, hey, I don't know what to do. I don't have any skills. I don't have any capital to get started. Kindle Direct Publishing, I think, is a great way to go. So, and again, you can learn more about that in Passive Income Engines. So we'll let you go. Audience, you guys are amazing. Go check out Dr. David. Good to see all of you, Dane and Funny Turo and RX Rob. I can't shout out everybody, but I appreciate seeing you guys in the chat even. It's just amazing to have this community here. And Dr. David, thank you for sharing some of your expertise with us. And we look forward to having you back here soon.
All right, sounds good.
Awesome. Take care, everybody. Have a great rest of your day.
Oh, I know. I promised that was the end. But one last thing, and maybe this can benefit you as well. If you have any suggestions for someone you'd like to see on the podcast, feel free to send me their information or just their name. And if I like the idea, I'll try to look them up myself. But any suggestions, no matter how crazy, no matter how, well, especially if it's cool, well, crazy also, just send me your suggestions. And also, if you want to be on the podcast, get in touch with me. My email, all my contact info is in the show notes. Also, if you don't want to look at the show notes or you're in your car, maybe you shouldn't look at the show notes while you're driving. It's redteamgoals.com. You can get all my links and everything else there. So let me know your suggestions and tell me more about yourself if you'd like to be on the podcast as well. Thanks again for listening.